Obviously, it took me a while to come up with a way to word this video based off my previous video, What God Does to a Narcissist, because the story's not fully told. I will get there someday. I think there's more to the story because there's more things that God taught me. So you never expected God to answer, right? When they were mocking you, discarding you, laughing behind your back, playing both sides, calling you the problem. However, God was listening. I know because I was the narcissist who thought I could outrun him. So, first moments of breaking points, there's moments where even being self-aware can't save the situation. So, after my collapse and my narcissistic injuries, being alone, suffering through depression, feeling the wrath of God, right after that I found someone. I was in a relationship and things started out pretty well. I thought I turned the corner and things were looking bright for a while. However, I think that with most narcissists, anytime there's conflicts or problems, they tend to magnify these problems by tenfold. So if there's a problem or conflict or disagreement, it gets magnified and the narcissist will often crumble. Unfortunately, that's what happened. Everything was going along smoothly until there was a small conflict with my partner's child. It was a minor disagreement on something so insignificant. I'm embarrassed to even say what it was, but it had something to do with a freezer item. Okay, as stupid as that is. So, talk about something small turning into a gigantic snowball. This changed the course of our relationship and put us on a path of destruction. There was a part of me that knew what I was doing was wrong, but the other part of me couldn't help repeating the same old patterns. That's what happened. I couldn't let go. Whether I was right or wrong, I just couldn't let it go. Just simply letting things go or not even engaging and maybe even making things to be a joke. There's so many better solutions to problems when they come up. But at the time, about maybe 2 years ago, I thought I knew everything, although this, was pretty recent. And even though I became self-aware, I couldn't stop the arguments. I know my ex was simply standing up for herself, and I know that her daughter was standing up for herself. All I had to do was let it go. Make it as stupid as it was, but I couldn't do it. So what followed is a long string of arguments, back and forth text. Even though I knew it was something stupid, it was completely dumb. And I also figured out it was the end of the relationship. I just didn't see it, but I did it anyway. The silent treatment. I did that to her. She decided to end things. I remember her getting on her motorcycle and driving away. I didn't think it was the end. I thought this was just going to be a silent treatment for a few days. I tried to be nice during the silent treatment. Like I did laundry, for example. It was only a few days. I thought we would come back together. Things would go back to normal. And we did for a short time. But she confessed things are not the same. She could not ever be the same again. Something changed inside her heart. This led us to our final breakup. Knowing how insignificant and stupid things are at the time, I still argued about it. Being self-aware didn't stop me. God didn't help me. I did all these things anyway. I ruined the relationship. I knew in my heart her moving out of state was the end, but I let it happen anyway. I didn't beg her back. I just let her go. Obviously, I went back to God, not begging to fix the relationship, but to maybe understand why I failed, why I repeated the pattern. After I thought I was healed, I became self-aware. I reconnected with my faith. I had a hopeful heart. God told me, in a way, not actually speaking to me, but in a way, you're still broken. You rushed redemption. You rushed into a relationship too fast. So, look where I'm at now. Looking back in regret, the person I once loved, I still do, she's out of state, all over a minor conflict that could have been resolved in 2 minutes, but I just couldn't let things go. Looking back on the silent treatment, it was only 2.5 days, I think. I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought time apart, not speaking, would actually help in some ways. Obviously, I was wrong, because it shattered her heart. It made her put her guard back up, and it made her afraid to love me again. The relationship ended. She moved out of state. Not sure exactly where. But now I live in regret, knowing and recognizing the patterns. Even at the time, I just couldn't change them. Facing God, facing regret. Now I'm alone, facing all these things again. How many stories am I going to have to tell you people what God does to a narcissist? Am I ever going to learn? Can a narcissist ever really change? All these questions haunt me day and night. I ask myself these same questions. But it is God's will, and there's nothing I can do about it. But live with regret. Try to do my best in the future. Perhaps being alone is what God wants and needs me to be now. Alone. This is my destiny. Although the relationship ended in a friendly manner, we still do talk from time to time. I know I'll never get her back. I know she found someone. But I know that God put me in this place now, alone, to live in this regret and maybe learn from it. Maybe someday God will put someone else in my life to make me happy and to make me learn these lessons and implement these new strategies that I have. I know what I did wrong. I know what I'll do differently in the future. But I also know it's too late, and I have to accept my fate. This is God's will, my destiny. So I made mistakes. Hopefully I learned from them, but it doesn't matter anymore because this is where God put me. Hopefully you can learn from my lessons, hearing my stories here today. Hopefully if you're a narcissist, you hear this and understand that God will always have the last laugh. Karma will always find you, and you will never be happy in this lifetime because you do not live, you do not fully love. Knowing these things here, my stories, hopefully you can learn these lessons. You need therapy and you need God and lessons from God. As far as the victims go, now you know, at least in some ways, God always has the last laugh when these narcissists are mistreating you, judging you, gaslighting you, humiliating you, trying to destroy you financially, physically. Now you know God gives them payback. You may not always see this. Not every narcissist is going to create a YouTube channel and tell their story. Not every narcissist is going to tell the truth. You know this. But this is the truth. Narcissists do pay. Narcissists will pay. And God will always win. Thanks for watching. God bless you.